area where tiebreakers are always a possibility. Those potential tiebreakers in Group A, but thanks to the double victory of Alliance, that has been bypassed. But Group B is anyone's game, Merlini.
Group B is indeed still anyone's game, and I think the only one who's secured right now is eHome.
Yep.
And
eHome is #1. Digital Chaos, as long as they can win one game out of the 4 today, they will guarantee themselves top 4.
So looking ahead towards the draft for this game, Digital Chaos have been able to get their hands on the Mirana for a lot of the series that we've seen, but Liquid will ban it out first.
They actually took out the SD as well in the first phase. That's something we haven't seen so far. A very early Shadow Demon ban.
Is Ogre gonna get addressed? I believe Digital Chaos were one of the few teams to pick it up in maybe like a few weeks ago when it was like, what? Ogre? Who? What? Now it's like, it's all about the two-headed man.
He's, I think you were mentioning it perfectly. He's just great up against Faceless Void. He's getting no time, so...
He's getting no love.
Yeah. Maybe no love in this series as well, as Team Liquid go directly in for Mind Control's Batrider.
I think Digital Chaos will take Void, though. It's really good versus the Batrider, and they seem to be one of the few teams that still pick it up a lot, despite it being not the flavor of the month. Flavor of the week, flavor of the day, even.
I think we can say week.
Huskar was flavor of the day. Now
Sort
he's
of.
fallen off.
No, he was Secret's flavor of the day.
Yeah, well, day one it was EG ran him as well 2 times.
Yep.
So I think that was...
That's how they got their victories, and everyone's just like, wait. Let's just get Ancient Apparition through. We'll be smart about this one. I think it was Team Secret got Chaos Knighted when they tried to run Huskar again. So they're now like a 75% win rate with their Huskar.
Chaos Knight owns CK, or yeah, Chaos Knight owns Huskar so badly.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, no AoE, lots of physical damage, long duration stun. I'm actually surprised we haven't seen more Huskar, or sorry, more CK, considering how often Wiz hasn't picked up. However, we see Nyx Assassin in the first phase. This hero has been 5th pick occasionally, sometimes versus Timbersaw, sometimes versus OD, but most of the times versus Batrider.
Yeah, we had that amazing 5th pick on day 1 with the Nyx Assassin versus the Bat. And Oracle, another hero who's got a lot of time on the field. Comes in for Digital Chaos. Easy way to counter up that Batrider. In fact, both these heroes working really well against the Batrider. Very hard to get a lasso, very hard to move anywhere.
I was thinking of like the best way to counter the Nyx Assassin with the Batrider. You'll see teams occasionally run an Omni Knight plus Batrider off lane, but Omni Knight I think is especially poor versus the Oracle's constant purge.
So instead, Kura can go with something else.
Reserve time. Did it purge off the repel? I think you can. I don't know. Yeah, you should be able to.
You could diffusal off the repel, so you'd assume
it's a
you
different
could
purge though. I don't know. I'll double check real fast. Go on.
Work out if you can Fortune's End it. Well, it's Kura's turn anyway. Next pickup for him. Batrider to start with no Mirana in the field, no ET. Not the most obvious pickup to come up for the second.
Okay, if you cast it, if you Fortune's End is cast before repel and release, it will purge the repel effect. It cannot be cast on a unit with repel already active. However, that can be kind of...
So if it's in flight, it will take it off.
There are ways around it.
You can't cast on them.
You can cast it on an ally and then have it like right next to the
if
repel.
they're close enough, then the AoE hits.
So there's ways around it. Regardless, we'll see what Liquid will pick for.
Oh, that's
first phase.
Yeah. Very early on, and this should be Fada's hero, so they're revealing 2 cores within their first. Also doesn't perform, I say doesn't perform that well up against Nyx Assassin. Unless you get a guaranteed stun from Nyx Assassin.
I don't think Oracle or Nyx are particularly good versus the Alchemist. You don't want to play the farm game, and they have some burst, but not enough burst to deal with the Alchemist. Let's see if they ban the AA. Yes, they will immediately after.
There goes the Bounty Hunter from Digital Chaos, making sure there's no assisting the Alchemist in the mid lane, causing problems. Means you might be able to get away with some, I won't say more fragile heroes, but better heroes against the Alchemist. So we look towards someone like a Death Prophet against the Alchemist early on. Thinking about Weeha style heroes.
Ursa. Ursa seems more likely. Ursa's really good versus Alchemist. He has a sustained burst that Alchemist just cannot heal through. On top of that, they are dire, and I think it's also pretty good versus Bat Rider. That's my pick for Digital Chaos.
Actually wondering how you control the Ursa when you get an Oracle on their side as well.
You can't.
Like between Enrage as well as False Promise, that Ursa's pretty free to do what he wants.
Generally, you want to play fast versus Alchemist. Fast means not stacking up and farming your own jungle, maybe to some extent, but I think like the wrong approach is like a Sven. That's not the type of style that you're looking for. You're looking to invade the jungle early, take out the stacks, constantly pressure the Alchemist in the mid lane, take down his T1 so he can't spread his acid all over to the Ancients.
Like, I still have flashbacks. Who was it that was playing that one? The Alchemist, safe lane, Radiant side, was farming up both the camps at the same time because they cut through the tree line.
That's happened multiple times. Fada was the one that did it.
Was it Fada? Okay, yeah. It was just like, the farm was unbelievable, and no one was coming to stop him. But that was the game they lost.
And also, Ehome, was that Ehome?
Yeah, I think that was an Ehome game, and Ehome lost. Like, the Alchemist had, like, more farm than the other two cores put together, and they still lost.
Radiant Alchemist actually seems a lot better because of that. You can't really do that too easily on Dire.
Yeah, you need your supports to do a lot more work. Like on Radiant, you just throw the acid spray and it stacks the camp for you. Without having to leave the lane. They banned the Huskar just in case, Team Liquid. Still have the Oracle, they banned out the Ancient Apparition themselves, which is normally a good counter against the Huskar.
Morphling's also a pretty good choice for Digital Chaos. Morphling, you can replicate the Alchemist, so the more farm he gets, the more farm you get. And it's also one of the carries of choice versus Battle Rider. Carries of choice, someone that can survive during a lasso. Morph is particularly good, or has magic immunity of some sort. Maybe not Rage so much, so not Lifestealer, but Slark, Juggernaut.
But Lifesteal is really nice up against an Alchemist. Anyone with high amount of life points, Lifesteal can just sustain against.
Alchemist doesn't actually have that high life though. He has
it's regeneration, isn't it?
And it's I think Lifesteal actually struggles a lot versus Alchemist because of that.
They go with the Timbersaw instead. There's some extra survivability.
Will this be a Wii Timbersaw? I remember there was a whole debate. Oh my gosh, Wii can't play Timbersaw, but I'm pretty sure he can play most heroes. And I just don't know if they're going to put it in the middle lane or not. But it seems likely. Matchup versus the Alchemist. What are they going to pick for Jerax? Jerax has been such a key instrument in Liquid's arsenal. What are they going to pick? There's still Earth Spear.
Yeah, Earth Spear is the first one that comes in. You want a silence, right? And you also want a good rotator into that mid.
His Disruptor's also good.
Yep, Disruptor, nice control against the Timber. A lot easier way to lock down an Oracle.
Keepers also still pretty good, although they didn't win that one game where they put Jerax on the Keepers, so maybe a little bit reluctant, and also not very good versus the Nyx.
I go for a Lion instead. Straight up burst damage, good disable. Gotta be careful about the Nyx Assassin hunting him down, however. That could be a problem.
It is a support who can disable the Nyx without doing any damage to him. That is something that's pretty rare, so I do like that.
Good burst damage as well against the Timbersaw. Doesn't give him reactive armor charges, just a straight finger of death. Hard to put him on the bottom lane against Timber if this isn't off-lane Timber, because his harassment just gives him charges, and you're 100% in the money bet about the Morphling.
Yuck. But it is into a Lion, so I think Liquid actually covered the bases with a Lion pick. Yeah, he's going to make a replicate, whatever. I'll just mana drain it, it'll disappear, and you will waste your ultimate.
Yeah, that's actually not so strong, and Liquid go for the Ursa. Liquid, of course, they've always loved running Ursa.
Yep.
For the last, like, 2 majors, it was always like, hey, if Liquid has Ursa, you're in trouble.
Ursa's really good for Liquid. I am starting to favor their lineup a lot more. I think Digital Chaos, the Morphling's a bit slow-paced. Timbersaw's not particularly good versus any of these heroes. He's like okay versus Alchemist, but not that great versus Lion, not that great versus Bat Rider, and I don't really think he can control Ursa in the team fights at all, so... he also needs a lot of farm, especially if he's a position 3, where he might have a struggle getting through the early game.
They ban out the Zeus as the last one. That was something which Kuro, we saw him run as a support hero, but he was also doing that against a Riki, I believe it was.
Yep.
Or, no,
yeah, he did it versus Riki and Timbersaw. Yeah. But it really did destroy the Timbersaw. So the other support that we see quite often is Skyrath. Skyrath's been making a jump back. I don't think he's that great versus the Nyx Assassin, just because the Nyx Assassin just drives up.
They can still go for the Disruptor, right? Like a Lion and a Disruptor together.
Yeah, I like Disruptor.
Or if you're looking for a little bit of team fight, like maybe you can actually look towards the Kunkka.
Kunkka's also good too.
I'm just thinking of ways you can control the Timber and make sure, like, say, Hero stays next to the Ursa. Because both Timber and Morphling have good escapes away from the Ursa.
You might want to go for a Roche support too. Vengeful Spirit, Dazzle even. Yeah, I don't really like Dazzle here. Not really any physical damage to work with on the opposite team.
5 seconds remaining.
He's old school Abaddon.
I was actually thinking about ABBA. I was like, you can. There's not really that many disables. I think ABBA would be really good against a support or a non-position 1 Morphling, but there's not really anything good to use your shield on, and Timbersaw kind of destroys him. But he is an Alka.
Oh, it's not dying. This actually allows Team Liquid, if they wanted to push Undying, Lion, and Ursa to the north, up to that top lane, leave Alchemist in mid, and send the Batrider to the bot lane. If he's going one-on-one with the Timbersaw, the Batrider should feel comfortable with that. A little bit.
10 seconds
So, question
remaining.
as to where Digital Chaos are going to put their Timbersaw. Undying, I
5
have
seconds
been hoping
remaining.
for an Alchemist giving Undying an Ags, and just seeing him go from being completely useless to just owning the whole team.
Oh, it's a Chen from Digital Chaos, so Nyx will be moved into the core role.
And it's a Wheat Timber.
Yeah, it will be.
Moo Nyx, I believe.
Should be offlane Nyx, yeah, and safe lane Morphling. Morphling at least has a way to escape, but a Chen early on, if this isn't aggro lane from Liquid, I almost want to see like Team Liquid smoke gank straight up, go into the dire jungle, ward up the camps of Chen, and just, well, murder if they find somebody.
Lion Ursa Undying. It's pretty decent.
Yeah. That's actually a real scary lane to go against. Oracle can't stop that.
I don't think Liquid runs aggro that often, though. And I think they're very comfortable with the Ursa versus Timbersaw matchup in the bottom lane. But Digital Chaos still haven't shown
what do you do
who's
then? Like,
playing who.
you just have like a Lion and a Batrider, or you just don't even care?
I'm not
10
sure.
seconds
I think you could run
remaining.
Ursa in the mid lane, actually. Put Ursa mid versus the Timber, and then Alchemist in the bottom lane versus
5
Nyx. But
seconds remaining.
again, Liquid just don't run crazy lanes and lane swaps very often. But we will see what's going to happen here.
It's kind of sad for him. Like, it makes it a little bit predictable. Hey, we're missing heroes again.
That's why I think...
Alright.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Not
30 seconds to battle.
First blood. First blood, right off the bat.
Number...
The battle begins.
pretty.
We'll take that.
Good are linked.
And but
Denied.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yep.
Illusion.
He'll
All face judgment.
Wake up, girl. Wake up.
Repent.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
now. Alright.
My armor fails me. My armor fails me.
Come on.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Please.
吃进一个大药。
Да. Ну, слушай, багом обозначили...
It was like, what? Ogre? Who? What?
Liquid
Now it's like, it's all about the two-headed man.
Пошел подкоп, неплохо,
Не,
не дотянет
будет
самотрога,
жить,
но тут фейсы
да.
прожимаются, Чен пришел защищать. Он бы сетку еще кинул, так что не получится. Но при этом все знали о хуке под фонтаном?
Ну как,
Знали.
тут ты знаешь, да, может...
You can have a look at the combat log, that'll tell you.
Dire's middle
Resolution,
tower is under
having the
attack.
help of Sasuke, actually turns on Mind Control. So it's Mind Control who is being the aggressor. Morphling very happy to get himself out of range of the Firefly too, which was burning him down.
I'm looking.
And Kuro, without any friends up on this top lane for the moment. Misery turns his attention to the bot lane. They have to slow down Tumberman. 1 kill, no deaths. He was leading the CS, actually still is leading the CS. 2 in front of Weeha, who's now using a Sharkum to find as much as he can. But Fana is, as always, going to be on top of the net worth as this Alchemist. 4 points up in the greed. And he can start looking towards Ancients in a bit. They're not stacked up at the moment. He's been using his acid spray. I think almost 100% on that mid lane.
He hasn't stacked the Ancients too much, though. I looked it up, it was
Misery.
Orbit Venom.
He's going to be
debuff.
seen by Mind Control. Cannons will be thrown out by Misery, but Jirax arrives with the stun and Misery. They're going to realize with where he was. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, Alchemist got the last hit. Yeah, they realized that he put down an Observer Ward with that movement. They saw him come over, that's the reason why they scanned, but they scanned up
Radiant's
in
bottom
this
tower
region
is
here.
under attack.
So it was only a process of elimination that Misery was down south. Thanks
That's
to that op.
ambitious. They wanted to steal the sack, I suppose, with a Timber Saw, but Nyx doesn't have Arcane Boots, so it's very difficult for him to move around the map right now. They have a Morphling who's still struggling to recuperate some of that early game CS, so I'm surprised that he went into that area. If anything, I think controlling the Ancients and that large spawn to the east of the top T1 would be a little bit better for them, but yeah, they will pay for that. And he gave him Skeleton too for Alchemist, so extra tick of Greevil's greed.
At least he can steal the bounty rune. I can slow down Fada a little bit, but it's Armlet
Radiant's middle tower
and having
is
another
under attack.
1,300 gold 8 minutes in. Weeha's making his way over, but it's too late. Fada's so happy with it. We're getting golems. Weeha, Timber chains through. Chemical Rage swells, the armlet turns on, and Weeha gonna get concocted. Support is coming over. It's Matumberman on his way, and Weeha just chains and TPs out. It's the Dire Observer Ward, which is here, that saw the movement. Hence he bailed out.
DC still need to kill some heroes with a chin because he is not farming up, as you mentioned. He is level 5 at the moment, but after the last few engagements that he's had, is just trying to find a home. Matumberman will see Misery, but there's Moo there to back him up.
Is Mind Control coming looking for the Dire stacks? There is one with a set of golems, but also the courier flying out. Mind Control will not remain undetected.
Next going on to the mid lane. We in a lot of trouble getting bursted down. Ursa. Oh.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Too
under
much
attack.
damage too quick.
I think Matumberman's one of the better Ursas too. The way that he like pressures around the map to make sure that he can like secure the area around the
Radiant
Roshan. He's like always
structures
imposing
are
his will. He's not. He farms up the Blink Dagger while still killing people, and also I really like the way he uses it. Rage uses it defensively at the right moment and offensively.
Watching this top lane, Mind Control can Firefly in 1 second time. That'll give him the vision. Jirax reveals his position by mana draining on the range creep, but he kind of needed to. He had enough mana to go for one Finger of Death, but no stun and no
Dire's
Hex
top
to back it
tower
up.
is under attack.
That was also probably another reason why Matumberman was expecting that kill to happen in mid lane a lot faster. Jirax was short by 20 mana of letting his Finger of Death go.
Well, they are all under Observer Ward, and Alchemist will get another bounty
Radiant's
room. So
middle
we're talking about a
tower is under
very
attack.
fast Radiance coming out from him. His CS is not phenomenal.
Is Jirax baiting this? Puts in a sentry ward, and they're probably expecting the Nyx
Oh,
assassin
that
to
is
come
some next
over.
level.
But if you kill the observer ward, Moo will know. So the
That is
sentry
so next
ward, like
level.
you draw the line right there. If Moo goes past that, he'll know, and Jirax is just like, okay, it's not going to happen. He attacks the ward once. Girl has to finish the job. They're coming into the mid lane. A 5 Finger of Death on Misery. Concoction's done. They do have that false promise. Misery will survive just that little bit longer. Fada not a healthy man. Neither is Mind Control, but at least he'll avoid the Timber Chain from Weeha. Doesn't have a lot of trees to work with, but he still has enough with the Chakram to rip apart the Bat Rider.
That was a very awkward positioning for Liquid.
Oh,
They wanted to retreat, but they were under
Spike
ward.
Carapace sets up. He was inside the acid spray, hence the instant stun onto Fada. And the Tombstone is not enough protection. Very quickly cleaned up by Weeha. Extra gold for him too.
He's been doing a lot of damage, and that was the sweet spot for Alchemist when he has that pretty purse of 3,400, 3,500 gold right before the relic. And as you mentioned, got caught out by that by Carapace, not really respecting it all too much.
Every second he's on the sideline too. That's so much money down the drain.
Yeah, resets your Agreeable's greed stacks.
It's also just the death time. Unable to find CS during that
Radiant's
period of
middle
time.
tower is under
And
Like with
attack.
some other heroes, like, oh, maybe I lost 100, 200 gold worth of farm. With Alchemists, I lost 2,000 gold worth of farm.
And they also managed to get down a sentry ward on that big stack, so they can't stack that up, they can't farm that up, and they need far on the Bat Rider as well as the Alchemist. And now Ursa really close to that Blink Dagger. Is he going to be able to buy it before Moo hunts him down?
He's got a lot of support behind him. Jirax and Kuro
Dire's
smoked up
middle
behind the
tower is
tier
under
1
attack.
tower. No observer ward scattered it out. Now the smoke's gonna break. A fresh sentry down. They see Moo, but not anymore. He gets up far enough, throws out the stun. And now a way to safety. A failed gank there by Team Liquid.
I thought JRX was going to go for the Hex there, but he just didn't not want to get caught by the Impale.
They burnt so many sentries on that top lane now. That's 3 sentries down. And notice what Misery is doing. He's cutting the wave in the mid lane. A trip Sata plus
Radiant's
the
middle
Centaur.
tower is under attack.
That creep wave
Radiant
won't survive. And
structures
Fada's
are
coming in. The
fortified.
Chemical Rage is halfway through his duration. Okay, blast a little bit off target. He threw out 2 of them.
And notice all these Observer wards. Just another one that's super deep
Radiant's
into
top
the
tower
Liquid
is under
side.
attack.
That will stack up those creeping shenanigans that Fado is so commonly up to.
And they actually mistimed the stack. Now Jirax, front lines. Would really like to kill off this Chen army. No Hand of God for 10 seconds. Tombstone will also drop. And looks like Misery trying to drag his creep army back out again, but flame break damage was more than enough. Even Weeha at one point turned around to try and deny one of the status. So the money doesn't go the way of Team Liquid.
So much gold and XP. And they didn't even get the mid T1 tower.
Does Jirax know about the ward? He's still got a sentry ward on him. They burn so many on the top that getting extra wards in. Okay, Matama, there's your jump in. Sasuke, he's still got that false promise. If he wants to use it, he will do so. But I think he understands the fact that he is most definitely going to die. Purifying Flame as much as he can, throws one over to Kuro, in fact. And loses his life. Blink Dagger of Matabaman quickly put to work. Now 2 kills on this Ursa.
All Liquid heroes are kind of close to Fada though, making sure that he gets his Radiance. Just 500 gold away now.
Can Jirax solo res? Like when he's heavily stacked in agility.
He might accidentally waveform like in a little bit deep, and Jirax knows that his waveform is off quota on the Atom Reserve Ward to make sure that no heroes are behind him, but no damage. They need the Ursa.
I'd even be fine with like, because I'm thinking like if he's agi morphed, you hit him with a decay, and then Finger of Death burst and the control from Spike.
Yeah, they could burst him down. He has to be at like 700 HP though.
Well, he's 820 at the moment.
Close.
Decay, if it's Decay could bring him down. They're giving more space to Kuro on the top lane, trying to finish up his arcane boots, so a little bit more mana sustain. Jirax very boldly walking out to throw down an Obs and a Sentry. And then DC smoke and walk straight underneath the Orbs and Sentry. So Team Liquid, that faith they may have in the vision in the Radiant jungle could work against them as DC move in towards the tier 1 tower. Mind control with the Firefly. He's going to break the smoke. Instant Spike Carapace will stun him up. The follow-up stuns. Okay, it's not enough. Jirax got a 1 hero stun, but there was Weeha. In fact, the entire team from DC ready to pounce.
Now it's Radiance time.
Now it's time for DC to back out. But they do still have that Observer Ward that's watching Fada farming. So they'll understand what's flying out.
Radiant's middle tower
And they go
is under
Roshan.
attack.
So don't fight into the Radiance. Get yourself a bigger objective. And it will be the Aegis Immortal coming from Roshan for DC. They're not even gonna trade a tower. Like that T1 tower is pretty good. Kuro's not forcing the lane up too hard. So yeah, they're gonna finish this and still be able to defend any of their T1 towers.
And Ursa maybe trying to stop the Roshan, and I see heroes peeping in, but they're way too late. They had no eyes on that mid side of the map, maybe expecting them to head back to their jungle and farm, but DC really on top of that chance that Liquid granted them.
I'm wondering what they do now with the Aegis. Like, do you try and force a fight? You got it over on a Timbersaw, so it's a license to die for Weeha.
You play patiently. You let the Alchemist get big, and you let the Undying's usefulness run out. You let the Ursa kind of suffer while he doesn't possess the Aegis of the Immortal, and you let the Morphling get nice and big. That's the most important part. I think they're okay with the way the game is going right now, and just use Nyx and Timbersaw to get pickoffs if you can.
It's unbelievable how much farm Alchemist is able to achieve. Like, it's like, oh, I don't find, like, you go off and do Roshan, well, the trade-off's fine, not losing any towers, but Alchemist still gains about 3,000 gold while you're doing it. Resolution, easy replicate jump out.
However, Liquid are still behind in net worth, despite having an Alchemist on their team.
It's the power of an Alchemist, but it's also the bad side about the Alchemist, right?
Yep.
Like, it's very deceiving how much power Liquid's got over DC.
What power?
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's deceiving. The gold advantage is sitting just at 600 in favor of DC.
Jirax only halfway to his Blink Dagger, Undying has max.
They found mind control. Okay, that's not what quite right. The Spike Carapace will still do its work. That's a guaranteed thing. Stand inside a Firefly, trigger Spike Carapace, Bat Rider gets stunned. 33 seconds on the sideline.
First pick Nyx Assassin, worth.
When someone's going to pick Bat Rider that early against you too, sure. Alright, top tower.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Tier 1 won't survive much longer. Misery was pushing in the bottom lane with his Chen army.
Radiant's top
He's
tower
going to drag
is
him back
under
to him
attack.
anyway. Matama's trying to get rid of as many of them
Radiant's
as possible.
top tower has fallen.
But it's just keeping Liquid looking behind themselves. This will be a little bit easier in a bit. Once the mana style is done over on
Radiant's
Fada,
top
split
tower
pushes
is
can
under
become
attack.
a lot more real. And the Alchemist will be able to push DC back. And that is what he's going to go for.
I see a smoke grouping.
Death and gold.
Team Liquid, they got a smoke over on the Undying, so yeah, they can do it. There's 3 heroes together.
It's too late. I think they've missed their window, perhaps. Oh, actually, they're not smoking with the Ursa, so they can do it.
And Resolution is still on top lane. But he's got a Linken's, like... Your jump in's gonna basically be, like, straight Hex. That's actually, even though I think Soul Rip probably has the bigger range at their abilities.
Without a Blink Dagger and it being daytime, it's just super hard Resolution. He senses a coming misery. He has his creep wave, and it being napalmed up, they'll know exactly what's going on over here.
Yeah. Only if they get to wipe out the Chen army, that's an upside. And Team Liquid are going to get sort of what they came for as well, and that's the
Radiant's
tier 1
bottom
tower.
is under attack.
DC have no intention of fighting that, but at the same time,
Dire's
DC,
top tower is under
they're
attack.
already down on that bottom lane. We Hard can just creep skip this out. So you trade technically a tier
Radiant's
1 for a
bottom
tier
tower
2
is under
tower.
attack.
Fortifications
Dire's
available for
middle
Team
tower
Liquid, but I
is
don't know if they
under
really
attack.
want to
Dire's top
expend it,
tower has fallen.
because they're in no position to defend.
Just waiting for Alchemist.
We don't have to wait that long. He's almost got the Manta.
Radiant's bottom
Tries the
tower
recipe
has
now,
fallen.
can send the courier over in a bit.
But Manta's not even the word go.
What is the word go? Because you still got Octarine to
Dire's
get
top
after that
tower
if
is under attack.
that's your choice.
It's
for split
more
push.
a timing. Oh, Vada gets caught up by a move. The Spike Carapace on the Radiance. Oh my goodness.
This
Spike
Nyx is the
Carapace.
perfect hero for DC in the game.
He really is. And the thing is, they don't have BKB heroes. Maybe Batrider, but you still need to get Force Staff for that Alchemist. You don't want to get BKB on him.
And the one hero you think you might be able to kill off, Resolution, but Tubman can't even kill him. He's got no bash, he's got no control. Resolution can always jump to a replicate. And if you think you've got support from a Lion, the Linken's is going to trigger, and Resolution is more than a skilled enough player, he'll react and just jump out to a replicate. And DC group up, 20 seconds without an Alchemist. They can inflict some severe damage to this mid-tier 2. Don't know if they can fully take it.
They're in trouble.
Liquid, yep.
Home under
Radiant's middle
siege.
tower is under
Waterman attacking us. What do we do?
I don't know if they're in the home right now, but DC definitely have put like snapping Liquid's letterbox.
This is their home.
Radiant
Alchemist needs to
structures
farm
are
this area.
fortified.
Dude, Liquid's got so much money. This is like the back Pagola.
Back of what?
I'll tell you later. Never heard of the word Pagola?
Oh, okay. Well, they're not doing that well at the moment, and if Roshan number 2 goes DC's way, this could get real ugly real fast. So Liquid need to consider how they're going to tackle the next Roshan. Split pushing out the lanes with Fada was what they were trying to do earlier, but Nyx Assassin put a quick end to that. Now with the Manta style, maybe a little bit easier, and I actually saw Fada toggling his Radiance, maybe being careful to
Not get hit by a Spike Carapace off Radiant Spell?
yeah, they're expecting a Nyx as an gank over here, but Moo's not there. He's just happily doing neutrals.
Oh, I like this from Batumberman. Diffusal Blade build is his item of choice. Let's have some way to kill off that that Morphling. Break through the Linken's, burn off the mana if you can control them long enough.
It's also really good versus the Fate's Edict. Saxa tries to cast it on him during his enrage. He's not taking any damage anyway, so him being magic immune doesn't really hurt.
DC with a big group smoke. Easiest target on the field right now is Lion. It's a little bit close towards the tower. Maybe not the
Dire's
greatest thing in the
middle
world.
tower
Radiant
is under
scanning.
attack.
Do they know that Moo is here? Moo comes in through the rear. Vada actually turned off his Radiance so he could TP out just in case, and the Impel will work, so BT's on cooldown for Fada. He can't get down to the bot lane, which is exactly where Weehar is going to jump in. G-Rex with the adaptive strike.
Radiant's
The
bottom
Chakra.
tower is under attack.
Chakra was almost enough to kill him
Radiant's
off.
top tower
So
is
now
under
DC can attack. Fada can't come home. This is a tier 3 tower, guaranteed. Mind control, try and slow things down. Throwing out the Firefly. The decay as well from Undying, something DC has to keep in mind, but while Mattelman, Troll trapped up. Doesn't feel too comfortable. Alchemist still running down. He's coming through the mid lane at the moment. The Undying Tombstone trying to keep it alive. Won't happen, however, even with the help of the Soul Rip. Who's also coming in.
What a sneaky maneuver from Moo to secure this T3 and perhaps even lane for them.
Yeah, they can just keep going for more. False promise on Weeha. They're protected, being healed up. They can actually send him back if they want to, and then he can just BT back to the front lines if he does drop down too low. But Fada out so far, Chemical Rage is wearing off. The Chen has dropped down, they get the drag back thanks to Lasso. Weeha will go down, but Tummerman gets himself a double kill. They're moving for more, they're moving for Moo. If they can reach him up the hill and far away. Away from the Liquid lineup. They repel the invaders of DC, they hold their bottom racks. And all the damage the DC did to the racks was on the melee, so it will regenerate. Looks like they're not done. They're coming back.
Roshan respawn 2.5 minutes. There is a DD around there, although it did disappear because there was a 24-minute rune spawn.
Yeah, it's just like, wait, why isn't that Nyx Assassin glowing blue, but it's Nyx activated bounty rune? Resolution, a little bit out of position on top, but that's the reason why he's got Lincolns as well as Replicate. They need to trigger that Lincolns quickly, get the control, and nope. Resolution back down to the bottom lane.
What was their plan there? They didn't have Lasso. I guess maybe they expected that he might not have a Replicate. That makes more sense. But Resolution always ready. Just give this man more playing.
Well, that's nice for Weeha. Bottles up for regeneration. Rune Jirak started the initiation off with the Hex on Timber. Weeha will just walk it off. All support's coming in with Matumberman. They got the Observer Ward, so he sees Misery. So Matumberman jumps over, tries to get the slow, but then the Centaur stops, holds him in position. Here comes Weeha as well. They can go for the Ursa, and Rage will trigger a big double stun coming in from Jirax. The fight will split a little bit. Oracle does drop. He said Mind Control was looking for him. It was the Alchemist of Fada that gets the kill. And now Nyx Assassin, Spire Carapace, double stuns all he wants. And Mad Rider will claim one of his own, and Weeha hexed up, stunned up. Finger of Death has already been triggered, so they don't have the burst damage against Weeha, but Resolution, he's got a knee blade online, brings down Mind Control. That Timber Chain not working perfectly for Weeha, so Kuro tries to walk it off. Fada, for some reason, is just cutting the line. I say for some reason, he actually managed to find the Chen.
Taken by the undertow.
Well,
now Morphling's officially ready.
His E-Blade, nice dodge from Fada. Easy mana starts up with the E-Blade, doesn't dodge the adaptive strike, but he's got a concoction against Weeha. As Jirax drains out the mana. Still tons of regeneration for Weeha, so he's okay.
Fada just looks so vulnerable in these fights, though.
Well, it's not going to really change until he finishes up with something bigger. And it looks like his next big item, it will in fact be that Octarine. It might be worthwhile him completing up the Assault Cuirass too.
I don't think you need armor here, though.
You just get BKB?
I think so. You don't want to go pipe. So, I think BKB, Timbersaw, Morphling, even Oracle's a little bit of an issue, but more importantly, Nyx. How's Nyx doing in terms of items? So Midas Blink, once he gets Scepter, I foresee a lot of issues for Liquid lineup, even if Alchemist is able to pull them a lot of Ags. It still seems like a rocky road ahead.
At least everyone has an Ags upgrade. So if Liquid can get this game to delay up, if they can make sure that DC doesn't have an easy Roshan, which is the next point of call, because an Aegis model will give DC the confidence to go through bot lane and potentially take a Rax, which makes life very difficult for the Alchemist to split push.
But there's a smoke coming out. 3 members of DC, Wee, Moo, and Saksa huddled around that Roche pit. It is up and ready, and they are just waiting for someone to venture down into the river.
They can't need to wait for someone to come, though. They're not really that quick at bringing down Roshan. Not anywhere near as quick as Liquid, and now Liquid are going to smoke up. They're looping in, so DC, they're going to wrap around the back line. Observer Ward down, Liquid, they get inside the pit, but now they realize that Fada is not alone. Timber Chain over, they're going to split up to find the back line, catching up 3 heroes of DC. Subgas has to actually ulti himself to stay alive. Support's coming in, they decay, you can say goodbye to Misery. Is there more damage? It's actually over on Kuro. It's the damage that Weeha is doing, but Kuro stays alive with the Great Soul Rip. This fight is split in multiple parts. Moose slowing down the bottom. Thanks to his spike carapace from Matumberman can finally bring in some extra damage. The TP out as Weeha. He's actually holding back on the sidelines. Now he can rejoin. The mind control wants to go for more. He does not have a lasso. Kuro's being hunted by Weeha. Dodges the chakram. Mafada comes in with the extra stun. Weeha, 20 reactive armor charges up at the moment. They need more damage. They need more control. They're actually hiding underneath the acid spray. Having to retreat back out, Mataman chasing after Weeha. Kuro giving the decays. He's got so many charges stolen that DC doesn't have a lot of life to work with, but it's still enough for Weeha to kill off the Ursa. Mind control wants to get more. Fada can't reach him. Now Weeha with the chakram down. There's your vision. Some will connect, or no, it won't. Dual steps are up, allowing Weeha to survive a little bit longer. They got finger of death developed from G-Rex, but it's not even required. The fight lasts so long, you're even capable of respawning and bringing in more damage. Now Fada with this on a misery, they can put the finger to work, bringing down the Chen. The mech, no, it'll keep the Chen alive for now. The illusions don't do enough. And that fight stretched on all the way across the Radiant jungle.
We did a lot of work there. He missed a fair amount of spells, but he still ended up killing the Ursa at the end of the day. And Liquid with a very smart maneuver. DC expected them to be sitting behind Fada, maybe looking for a Vendetta gank, perhaps, but Liquid actually smoked in the opposite direction and crushed the DC backline.
Well, they weren't looking for DC, were they? They wanted Roshan until they realized what they're up against.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just a turnaround. Alright, so Misery's looking at Aghanim Scepter as his next major item. Weeha still got a little bit of money. GT's Yules as well as Bloodstone in his bank.
He's actually falling a fair bit behind. He should be, I would say, like 15,000 plus, but he's been dying in a lot of these fights. I don't believe he used Bloodstone last time either. He got hexed up right before. Mind control looking for a kill Resolution.
They found him. The stuns are there and Resolution. No way to jump out. His replicate was actually on cooldown. And Ursa gets the mega kill streak, so 526 gold going into Ursa. And they jump for Roshan. There was a waiting Centaur waiting for him, but with the Morphling down, DC don't really have an easy way to defend this. Instead, they're looking to split push with Weeha up on top, and they'll have to let the Aegis Immortal go the way of Team Liquid.
Liquid flexing their fighting skills, and will pull themselves in the lead with this one.
Fada did buy an armor item, but it's a Shiva's Guard for him. And
that's as usual.
That's pretty much the last item he's going to get next to Moonshard and second level BTs. It probably means Aghanim Scepters are on the way for everyone else. Misery called out by Matama with Diffuser Blade. Misery can't really run fast enough and doesn't want to burn his Hand of God just to save himself. Even the Chen army getting mopped up. And that's going to be a tier 2 tower in mid. Team Liquid once again. We seem to have these games with Team Liquid. They're behind in the early game, and then this mid game happens. They wait for one good opportunity. Just patience being a virtue they display. And all of a sudden, they're in a position where they can even do damage to the tier 3 tower, potentially even the racks of DC.
And Fada's been really patient this game too. I like the way that he constantly toggles off his Radiance because of the Carapace. Yeah, and he has it, like, he's not casting Acid Spray right now. He's just ignoring the creeps. Not casting Acid Spray, doesn't want to give Nyx an easy setup. Force him to hit that hard Impale. And he doesn't have an Aether Lens, so it's especially difficult. And when he wants to go in, he just drops Acid Spray, Shiva's Guard, and turns on his Radiance. And he'll get stunned, but he'll have all of his spells out.
Really smart. And after taking the tier 3 tower, they waste no time. Straight TP down the bottom lane for Fada. Everyone else will walk it. But they're cleaning up the tier 1 and tier 2 tower on bot lane. This opens up Roshan Pit a lot more in the future. Also restricts DC's map movements. And DC are not having a bar of it. They're going to let him have both those towers on the bot lane. Weeha pushes in the mid. He's almost finished up his Shiva's Guard. Resolution is rapidly approaching his Skadi, only 1200 away from that. But they may not even have time to complete these items. The bottom lane keeps pushing in. Okay, they're coming back. Liquid will give them the space and time. They smoke up. They look for an opening, but Morphling's already away.
Looks like Lion perhaps going for a 4-step or a Yules instant cast item so he can blink, use your item, then hex. And should all happen within less than 0.1 a second, maybe even less if you have it shift queued. So, yeah, Morphling not looking to be quite that invulnerable late game hero that we see so often.
Thanks for a hard life. Batrider picks up a nice little arcane rune, so low cooldowns. And they see resolution in the bottom lane. I think they were looking for misery, however, but resolution, yeah, he'll just waveform and replicate back out.
Just trying to D-ward.
I like the sound from Weeha. The Lotus Orb now arriving might protect them enough from the initiation of the Batrider and the Lion.
I think he can protect the Morphling, more importantly. Morphling's the hero that you want to keep alive. I would say more so than yourself as a Timber Saw.
Spell or protect either way. They can just keep him on the field. Resolution. They still bring this game back for DC. They are a long way behind, 7.5 grand. About 3k in the experience as Team Liquid. They're bearing down that tier 3 tower on bot. Misery's still not ready to fight yet. Doesn't have that Aghanim Scepter. But they've got no choice. They have Fortification, which can slow this up. But it's only going to delay the inevitable. Push from Resolution on top lane hasn't come fast enough. So the bottom tower has to be fortified. Moo, again, not finding a good opening. Triggers the Spike Carapace early. So now Father, if he wants to, can turn on that Radiance and keep the push going. A low cooldown, however, only goes for about two more seconds. But that's another tier 3 tower taken without DC finding an opening to fight. They're too busy farming up.
Very patient play from them. Not diving headlong. Alchemist is approaching the 6th slot.
Yeah,
so they have to be a little bit worried, but that's when the Axe. Yep. Who are they going to give it to? Ursa? Ursa or Undying?
Ursa. I'm thinking Undying more. 10 life steal? 10 strength steal?
Yeah, I like it more on Undying, but I think Ursa's way more important. He has Aegis, so
he could be really nice and give it to Jirax.
No.
Where's the Axe flying? The Axe is flying down south. Okay, it's hovering next to Matumaman, so it will be a buff up to the Ursa. The Aghanims has arrived.
He always has a second one.
Yeah, you're right. He's at 3.4k. He's still getting gold from this top lane, so... Well, that's a nice situation. Don't know if you really want to sacrifice his buyback, however. They still do have that problem of the exposed racks on bot lane.
They have Ursa
so if somehow DC take a fight...
I think they can still take a fight just with just the Ursa. Because Ursa has, like, with the Enrage, he can just tank through the Nyx stuns. He can also get rid of, like, the shotgun debuff and the majority of the damage coming out. But, yeah, it is safer just to not have Fada in the grave.
Yeah.
I mean, if you give it to Undying, though, that's pretty good high ground defense. Constantly spam decays. You lose 200 HP plus every time.
At this rate, he can just buy it for everybody. And everyone's got so much money. A full pipe being built over on Kuro. A fresh Yule Scepter for the Lion to go along with his Blink Dagger. Matumaman hunting for kills. They're going to find him soon. And both will be stunned up by the Fire Carapace, but it doesn't stop the kill. The Lasso was still holding its target.
Moo was playing so well up until Fada turned off his Radiance. And now Fada Radiance on, he's not scared of Nyx, as Nyx has no buyback.
Oh boy, at least Weeha, the Lotus Orb, able to actually return that stun from Fada. Spike, the Chakram doing some good work too. But with Tombstone down, coming in close to be difficult. Now the Nyx Assassin, he is able to buy back, come back to front lines, looking for the Spine Carapace stun. Radiance turns off again for Fada. The Tombstone finally brought down by DC, so they can get rid of the undead army. They also get a copy of the Alchemist with the Radiance turned on. So they're able to get that with the replicate.
Still a little bit until Aegis and Cheese. Liquid need to kill the Nyx Assassin just one more time. I'm surprised he had gold for that. Must have just ticked up.
He's only at 150, so yep. They still have to wait. Out of the trigger chemical rage.
Alchemist also bought Moonshard before this fight.
Fada's still got his Radiance turned on, so they get the Spire Carapace into the Pal, and with the stun, that's why he's been keeping it off for so long. easiest setup ever, and the one time he leaves his Radiance turned on, DC capitalize, and now they're hunting for more. They're gonna track down Kuro. Weeha is here. Yule Scepter holding Batrider in position. The stun from Mu, a little bit off target, and then you have the lasso. Mind Control wants to get out here. Spike Carapace comes back off cooldown just at the nick of time.
And they lose the gem.
Oh, they actually lost gem too. Okay.
I would even suggest replacing the Radiance at this point. I don't know what you'd replace it with. AC maybe? Heart? Heart? That's actually not that bad here.
Could work.
He just needs to not get bursted down.
Or he just gets more lockdown control.
Yeah, Abyssal's fine too.
Yep. A lot of good items for him, but yeah, Radiance just seems to be more of a negative than a positive. Which is kind of silly to say when you also want to have him for a split push. That's one of the big reasons you also get an Octarine core.
Maybe he doesn't want to replace it yet because he still has better things to spend his gold on. You don't really want to sell an item when you still have a very useful Ags upgrade in the Undying. Alliance is like, it's decent. He can split push out late, but he's not even level 16 yet.
Wow. Actually spent that money, he could have bought the Undying Ags before that fight, but he bought a Moonshot instead.
Yeah, and it takes too much time to prepare the eggs. You have to bring it all the way from base. Now Misery camping inside the Roshan pit. That is a duty for Misery, not for one of his underlings.
this image of Alchemist bitching the fact in the amount of time it takes him to farm up an Aghanim Scepter, like it's the same amount of time for a courier to fly an Aghanim Scepter to him. Where's the efficiency?
Well, it was a small timing that they had though. They had to do it when the Nyx was dead.
Yep. Oh, Roshan. Count down the clock. Just over 30 seconds. You see, where are these observer wards? Where is their control? If they're okay, they're bringing out the gem at the moment. So DC may be able to get rid of that obs. It's going to time out in about 5 seconds. And the only other one is up on the top lane for the Radiant side, and then 2 obs on either side of the Roche pit for DC. They'll be well aware if Liquid come over until that. So they smoke. Batrider's got a gem of his own. And they're walking into Roshan. If they wait just a second longer, they'll see Roshan. But the Chain Creep is also in here. So Roshan spawns up, but DC are the only ones that know he's alive.
They don't have a T3 on mid or bottom though. This could be the perfect opportunity for them to smoke up into their base. However, they do not have any BKBs. So fighting the Timbersaw, Nyx Assassin, Morphling going to be very difficult if they don't have vision before them. Matoma Man just waiting up the hill. Mu, is he going to walk into this?
Yeah, he does. They jump in. They spike Carapace, however, breaking him free. Now the double chakras are going to work. The Gem of Truth is already on the deck. The Batrider exploded. Weeha will join him, however, in the afterlife. Perfect finger of death. And now it is going to work over to the Oracle. In the trees. They can go into the base as well. Look for a Raxing time. And the Spike Carapace will be available, but that's only if the Nyx Assassin can remain alive. Misery, move! Helmet just gets a triple kill. Screw Vada. That Ursa's doing the work. But you got pressure being applied in the bottom lane by Resolution, and Liquid will be falling back. Resolution TP's back to the mid lane. They're giving a lot of respect to what that Morphling could have done to them.
Morphling had to be a part of that fight so they wouldn't lose it as badly as they did. The shotgun blowing up the Batrider at least gave DC something out of it, but now Matoma Man already headed towards the Roche pit knowing that it's almost certainly going to have respawn now. Alchemist does have buyback, does not have enough money for Ags yet, but who is going to carry the cheese? Matoma Man doesn't even have any slots for the Aegis, and DC, they're already heading there, only 3 strong, but about to be 4.
They're flying out the BKB. He puts the gem on the deck, so Matoma Man's got a little bit more strength in the pit. They see Roshan moving out of the pit. Still with no Nyx Assassin, they don't have a great controller of Vada. But the double chakrams of Weeha could cause some issues, and they're grouping up. They want to go for a smoke move, but there's no smoke on the heroes. But they can still contest. Chakram number 1, chakram number 2. Matoma Man will still fight inside the pit. He doesn't care, he just raided. And that'll be cheese picked up by Mind Control. Aegis into the hands of the Ursa.
Only 18-second cooldown, so why not? Just use those. Use that Enrage to secure yourself a Roshan. And Cheese has gone the way of Mind Control.
Head to the bat.
He has no BKB. He really needs one, so he doesn't die immediately after the lasso.
Ends up getting hit by that spike carapace too. Like he just jumps in.
Yeah, that's why it does.
Gotta come in with Firefly if you're gonna make that last hit really worth it. Maybe now it's time for him, like a Bat Rider that doesn't use Firefly. An Alchemist that doesn't use Radiance.
Maybe.
He's just got no flying then. It's the downside. Resolution doing a good job of keeping these side lanes always pressured. Got a full butterfly on him to go with the E-Blade. A lot of damage to in fact arrive from the Morphling, and that's something we haven't really seen yet. As you said, like, if you're gonna win a fight here as DC, you need to have the Morphling being a part of it. But at the moment, they're just not. Morphling's always on the side lanes when these engagements begin.
And Alchemist's net worth is just absurd right now.
3.7k. Is he over the 1k mark? He's close to it. 986. We already cracked the 1k mark with a couple of games before. I think it was Wings who were the first ones to crack the 1k gold per minute.
I think next major they might have to change that to 1100 plus.
Would someone even take that gamble?
It was really close. I think Blink got 1090.
And no one went over.
Right now, it's a no-brainer to take 1000 plus if you think Alchemist is going to pick that at least like 3-4 times.
Yeah.
Well, BKB has been purchased by Alchemist. He has replaced his armlet with it, so now he can leave that Radiance on. Actually, I don't know. He still gets stunned first. He will die.
Yeah. And that's kind of the problem, right? And it's happening when Fighter is sieging.
Yeah, he might need to turn it off, and then once he BKBs, he can turn it on. But let's see how they approach this. No buyback quite yet on Alchemist. Just needs maybe 1 or 2 more creeps, or better yet, a Rex.
Keep your eyes on the Vision game. Tombstone will be dropped nice and early. Spike Carapace is already there. Fada stunned up #1. Look at the E-Blade pop. Fada gets ripped apart. They try to keep him alive with the Forum. And a huge triple stun from Jirac. It's still not enough. You've got Liquid in very deep underneath the tier 4 towers. They get through the Oracle. But now Weeha, he has to buy back so he can go to work again. Morphling, Resolution, still untouched throughout this fight. Can they please kill that Tombstone as well? That's a good, nice thing to do. As Weeha, he can't reach the 2 retreating Team Liquid players. Or maybe he can. Chakra back off cooldown, slowing down Matumberman. He can chain the second one now, playing leapfrog with the Blades of Steel after Matumberman. Chain forward, whirling death off cooldown in a moment. Jirac needs to stun him up, give a little bit of space, but now the Nyx Assassin, he misses on the stun. They'll split the Aegis now. Morphling is a replicant, so he can jump into that. They join the fight, but Matumberman gets exploded. Morphling gets the kill, so even more money to Resolution. And then looking at mid lane, they can just actually rotate the bottom. There's a buyback available for the Ursa. They can force this out, or they can take the bottom lane of Rax.
I have never seen a game hinge so precariously on a Radiance that was turned on or off. But honestly, that is what has made this game go this far. 2 deaths. 2 very crucial deaths on the Alchemist simply because he had his Radiance on. And he was so vigilant about it in the maybe 20 to 35 minute phase of the game.
He threw the acid spray down. I think that's actually what triggered the Spike Carapace to start with. He had it on top of the rack.
Either or, it would have. Yeah, I think if you preemptively BKB, it's fine, but he just moved through with like
the double stun, Resolution, and Weeha caught. Again, another Tombstone fight. Weeha, he's got the false promise to keep him alive and chain himself away with the Chakrams, making it difficult for Liquid to keep this chase going, but it will be enough. Weeha, he will survive. But Morphling is down, so is the Oracle. Buybacks are available for both. They get the bottom racks, DC.
Well, now it's Liquid's turn to force the buyback out of Digital Chaos. And looking at the buyback status, it was an Ursa and an Alchemist. And I guess they will trade that for Morphling unless Liquid end the game right here, which could potentially happen if Nyx is careless, if Timbersaw is careless, and Nyx Assassin surprisingly goes for the 4-step before the Scepter and will not have enough gold to complete the Scepter before this next engagement.
Force yourself into Radiance range?
Why not? I think
or potentially because like Alchemist is always facing into the tier 4 towers, so you just stun him and then force him into a bad position.
I think you can force staff the Hex target too. If we gets hexed up and he doesn't have his Lotus Orb on, then the force staff is immensely useful.
Matumba's almost got the Radiance. DC really don't want to fight this. They want to hold on to that buyback on the Morphling. they're already one lane of frags up, so maybe they're even accepting of the fact this frags goes down. Keep in mind where that acid spray is. BKB of Fada. He's actually just so far back, letting the illusions do the work. But DC's going to be really happy here. They're still holding their melee racks. The tombstone's having no effect, and the Morphling's up in 2 seconds. They hold the mid. Maybe now they should kill the tombstone though.
I think trading a range racks for Morphling, like not having to buy back, is definitely worth.
Look how defensive they are. Team Liquid aren't even near them anymore, and they're just like holding back on top of their own tier 4s. You can kind of understand it because the vision-wise, this is the vision of the Dire. They see nothing, absolutely nothing on the map. There is not a single observer ward down for DC at the moment.
And they can just die in a matter of a second with a lucky bash from Ursa, with a quick lasso from Batrider.
I think it's Kuro's Ag's upgrade time. He's coming over to Fada.
Yeah.
So finally, it shall be granted to Kuro.
I even think Batrider's next before the Lion.
There it is. Aghanims is up. I dropped the gem and true sight in the deck too. I didn't realize there's still a cheese hovering on the Liquid Courier. They don't even have it on a hero. Bihar's next item of choice going to be a BKB. So we go over the 50-minute mark in a bit. DC on the way out.
BKB up on
On resolution too.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 10-second BKBs that DC can fight with. I still can't believe Matubman's holding onto a Mask of Madness.
He still has room to grow. Abyssal Blade, BOT2, Moon Shard. It's not like you really need to replace it for something. Maybe Satanic if the game goes much later.
Mm-hmm. So Kuro's holding onto the cheese now.
Maybe even Refresher, actually. Would you go Refresher?
Refresher Ursa.
Yeah, his BKB charge is... actually, he has 8-second BKB, never mind. If he had 5-second BKB, I would consider it.
Looking at how this game is going, though, he could easily be down to 5 seconds in a bit.
Maybe later, though. He doesn't have enough gold, and he does not have buyback. Nor money for buyback. Roshan, quick respawn, 40 seconds time. Aegis and Cheese.
Resolution's going to give a nice little push to that bottom lane. That's very problematic. That's a big wave the DC has prepared. Someone must come back to defend this. And it will be Fada. He's got 30 seconds before he can TP back up to the top lane, where the rest of Team Liquid is waiting. But this is also the other upside about a Chen. He can just leave his small little army to defend the top lane. And they can keep the pressure on bottom.
He could also easily just test the face Morphling back, and then he can BOT back into the fight. There are multiple ways for them to split push out lanes.
Oh, the money, the money, the money.
Oh no,
the money.
They just sent chakrams inside. Is he going to pull it back? Okay, they know it's up.
Yep. And Roshan's running out. Now, does DC try and do this quickly? They send the Morphling down there? I'm also wondering then who is the carrier?
Nyx?
Yeah, that's actually where my first thought went. Like Nyx Assassin, aggressively jumping in with Spike Carapace, forcing Liquid into an engagement where they want to kill off the Nyx and it just burns the Aegis. Not a bad choice. And here comes Team Liquid. They're moving off the top lane. They're realizing no one's really defending the top. The Alchemist Illusion continues the push. Also got coming out in that. Okay, it's just more smokes arriving. The Resolution brings the deeps, and that will be DC to claim what is now our 5th Roshan.
Yeah, Morphling traded his BKB for it.
I like how Oracle becomes the courier. Oh, okay, he's not going to hold on to it. I was like, once Morphling dies, you just give him his BKB in the middle of the fight. The cheese was taken by Moo.
Cooldown on the buybacks. Coming up just 30 seconds for Alchemist, and he definitely has enough gold for it.
Oh yeah, he can buy another. He could buy another Aghanims. 6.8k. You've still got a big creep wave pushing in through the bottom. Even if the creeps aren't worth as much normally, you're able to have that Grievous Greed as long as you're actually there.
I'm not sure whether he gives it to Bat or Lion. Lion can help push out lanes with the eggs, but Bat Riders is much more useful for team fights.
Right now, everything seems to center around the team fight to win. Resolution, he's out a long way. T-Rex gonna be Glimmer caved in. He'll use the Linkers to trigger the Eul's to trigger the Linker spear, and then the jump forward. Resolution can't get out to his replicant, or can he? The Aegis Immortal will trigger. He'll come back to life in a moment, but the rest of DC has now arrived. The E-Blade pops, used over on Kuro. Kuro still holding onto the T, he's going to trigger that one as well. The BKBs off from Weeha and Matomaman. They're looking for the fight. Resolution doesn't have his BKB. It's flying out in the Kuro at the moment, but in comes Moo. The BKB is wearing off for Alchemist, and the double stun, perfect. Kuro's going to drop their waveform forward. The Spike Carapace combo, T-Rex and Barter on the back lines. Now is DC aggressively pushing forward. They're looking for Matomaman. The Glimmer Cape will allow him to back out as they find back in range of the Tombstone. The Shark from fly forward. Matomaman, he's actually going to try and TP out right in front of DC and drop. No buyback available for the Ursa. Barter TP's back as quickly as he possibly can to get control of the bot lane. They cannot have DC pushing in.
I don't know if they can hold without the Ursa.
It's going to be hard, 70 seconds. So they can at least push the lanes back out again.
That was a really good idea by Liquid, but just DC giving the only target that they didn't really want was the Morphling with the Aegis of the Immortal.
It was a long way out too, like, it took DC a while to get there. And here comes DC down the mid. A little bit of push on the top from Resolution. He bought a next level BT recipe.
Oh, Nyx has Ags, and he has buyback.
That's a lot of money. Everyone's got buyback on DC. And only the Alchemist has buyback for Team Liquid. They trigger already. That Linker Spear on Resolution. He does have the replicant available as DC also push in the mid. Resolution keeps going on this top lane. They don't just want to commit to him just yet. Kuro can start stealing a little bit of the life. Resolution, he just dives in, finds the first kill. Mind control, he'll drag back Sasuke, so there's no Oracle save, but Resolution is just so big, he's beating the crap out of Kuro. He'll focus now onto the ranks. 3 heroes still down for Liquid. The BKB is worn off from Barter, so he has to be careful with the Nyx Assassin on the field to walk into that acid spray, get an extra stun if he's not careful. But the top melee ranks is gone. Megas, DC have almost claimed them. Resolution still alive for the moment. Pushed out, but Matomaman jumps out. Will it be enough damage? He rips through him. That E-Blade sail, it wasn't enough. Not with the Fusel Blade. He took it off quickly. And now Morphling is down. Buyback is available. They want to try and finish this now, DC. Especially with the bash into Weeha. Matomaman, he needs to find more. The Lotus Orb won't protect him from anything. In fact, he may even have enough for a Lasso. 10 mana away, or he could just have huge amounts of damage from the Ursa. One melee rack survives in the mid lane. Is the only reason why DC does not have Megas right now.
Wonder how Liquid are going to tackle this at this point. One more fight, even inside Liquid space, they can just BKB and take it down. Glyph or no glyph.
Right now, it just seems like they have to force the buybacks.
They have to force a buyback at the bare minimum. I think they need to force a buyback and get a kill on a hero, a high priority hero. But who is that going to be? Morphling has buyback, Timbersaw has buyback, Nyx has buyback, and then you have to push into a Nyx Ags. And all DC do is need to wait 40 seconds time. And let's see, has he... Okay, Alchemist has actually gone for a Refresher last, maybe deciding that he wants BKB twice, but I'm very surprised he has not sold his Radiance yet. Does not do that much at this point in time. Dire has used Scare, they know that my control's sitting behind them, they are smoked up.
There's your jump in, Blink Lasso, Sasuke, the Spike Carapace again doing serious work from Nyx Assassin. The Lotus Orb let him break free and Misery will send him back to base. 6 seconds until you have the Timbersaw up at least 13, and they're going for it. They're actually going after the tier 4 tower. Spike Carapace from Moo, again setting up Barter, thanks to that Radiance being turned on. Lotus to protect the Matomaman, chasing up after Misery. Misery, he can't survive, the buyback's available. Now Morphling, Resolution, back to the world of the living. He needs to do some work here, Matomaman is fairly low, and that's a good target for the E-Blade. They can see him underneath the towers with the adaptive strike in the waveform forward. Matomaman, he's still up. The Resolution focused on T-Rex. They're going to be out-grabbed too, and the B team back in again. Liquid want to finish this game if they possibly can, but DC holds strong, another triple stun available. Matomaman breaks free with the BKB, enrages up, he's just being kited. Moo, firing up, he's looking for another stun, he'll get it on Barter. Concoction is brewing, but then Barter, he'll dodge it underneath the tier 4s, but Barter losing too much life too quickly. They have enough, waveform up, Resolution doing the deep, he can keep keep going in the chakra. Both of them on the top of it. Koro, you lose the Morphling. The buyback's available. That's the reason why they waited so long. So they can have 2 Morphlings in this fight. Kuro's in trouble too. He will drop it. GG. Liquid will call it just shy of the hour mark. They have no more heroes to defend with. They knew the game was DC's. And they take it. Game number 1 of this 2-game series. Could have gone anywhere at the end there.
MVP Radiance.
Whew. It's a question mark. Did the item hurt them more than it helped them? MVP Nyx Assassin.